So again, sorry I got caught up last time. If the Jews are expecting a male Messiah and he comes as both, right, that's going to throw them for a loop, right? Pilate won't even care, but no. His problem is they're saying he's a king, right? And he said, those who hear the truth obey my voice, right? So again, when he's being questioned, right, he answers kind of arbitrarily to make Pilate have to consider what the Jews are saying. Though he finds no fault with Jesus, why does he still let him be crucified then, right? He's still acting like Jesus is both doing something wrong, right? And yet not, right? Because see, in Roman society, there's no king but Caesar, right? And even if Caesar can follow Jupiter, Jupiter too is viewed as male. I know. Right. Now, Juno is his female counterpart, right? As Hera is Zeus's in the Greek, right? Yet the thing is, though, again, only the Greeks have hermaphroditus as a god. The way you would do that in the Roman society would be Mercury and Venus, right? And his name would be Mer-us, right? Kind of, right? Or Mer-Enos, right? Something where you know it's the child of Mercury and Venus, right? Now, her math, right, has to do with Hermes, right? The messenger of the gods. Aphrodite is the goddess he impregnated, right? To have hermaphroditus, right? I know. So, Now, the reason this term was picked up by doctors, right, during the 19th century, right, is hermaphroditus is portrayed as having female breasts, but the private parts of a male. Now, they have some hermaphrodites, right, who are more masculine and have a penis, but they have what's called ovotestes, right, instead of testicles, right? And they look like a man down there, right? And depending on the joining of the DNA, right, can even have female breasts, right? Now, some have female breasts, a penis, and a vagina, right? Some have a makeshift vagina, right? And it's not fully formed sometimes, right? Things like that, right? And they usually choose to operate at an early age on the child too, right? To determine it as male or female. This too is man's attempt to deny the hermaphroditic strain in the gene pool, right? Because he just ain't published publicly, right? I had to go to the library of Portsmouth Naval Hospital to even see if hermaphrodites were real. I also did it in Bethesda, Maryland, too, right? And they're real, and they're real. In fact, I was reading a teleprompter that was talking about the birth of one, right? Just that day, right? I know. It was talking about it. And the doctor was saying how he was going to perform the corrective surgery on the child, right? That day. And what he was going to do about it, right? Now, it just happened, though. I looked that up and it brought up that case, right? And And that's what they generally do. They operate, they make it look feminine or masculine. You know. And they damage the child not just physically, but psychologically, right? Now, the same is true if someone feels they're transgendered or not, right? Or that the wrong sperm reached the egg first, which still can be parental influence on the child too, right? Like I told you, some people want a girl or a boy, right? And get the opposite. Some people accept their child as they are, right? And that's part of the problem too, right? Prejudices, right? Of other human beings who think they know everything, but really they don't, right? So even a doctor whose Hippocratic oath is first do no harm would sooner operate on a hermaphrodite than let him grow up that way. Knowing that the world is mainly male and female, which shows the prejudice of the doctor, right? Not the child that was born that way. And we're all lying about it, like I told you, right? It's not just the Jews who don't understand some of the things even Moses himself was saying about it, right? And about God, right? They want to take the term Shaddai, right? Which Shad is the root of the word, right? And Dai can be separated from it too, right? To mean enough, right? Shad enough, right? Because it's a double D in the middle of the word, right? But Shad and Shadim is a single D. But there's also Shad E-I-S, right? With a Y. And then it has a CK at the end, or a K at the end, right? As well. Like I told you, when they translated it into Greek, right? The Septuagint is what it is called 70 Hebrew men did it, right? And they did it also because of the Apocrypha, which was written between Daniel and Malachi to Jesus, right? Now, some Christians, especially Protestants, are taught it's not part of the Bible. That's why, like I told you, if you actually read it, right, it says verbatim what I'm saying, right? Word for word. That God is both father and mother, son and daughter, right? In Irdis, right? One of the books in it, right? And it's either first or second, I forget right off the top of my head. Because again, I don't look at it every day, but it's something I just found out in a way too, right? Because you may miss something, right? If you don't really read it a lot. And if it's further in the book, you might not have gotten to it yet. But when you finally see it, it was always in there, right? See, if the Christians are still trying to tell you Jesus is male, the reason is they're trying to male dominate God, who's not a man or a woman, right? You can't make graven image of male or female to represent its true image, right? So that negates both images, right? Now, do you think Baal didn't look like a man, right? Or the image Nebuchadnezzar made and tried to get the Hebrew children to bow down to it didn't look like a male, right? Or a man? Yeah. It did. It did. But God is not a man, right? Anoki El Lo Ish. Now, the prophet ain't saying that to say he's God, right? I don't know. because he's male and man, right? He's saying the one talking to Israel is an L and no ish, right? Or no man, right? So if it's saying that too, right? And also it's not female. The Jews are taking David's son literally, right? Though Christ said, how do you say I'm his son, right? If he calls me Lord, right? Yahuwah said unto Adonai, right? Sit thou at my right hand till I make thine enemies your footstool, right? Even if that's the other people in Israel who didn't believe in him, right? I know. Right. But no one's perfect, are we? Right? Right. So Jesus is still offering us forgiveness, right? Right. Not condemnation, right? And you can think you know something, right? But really, you don't. You're wrong. All right.